Welcome to this new Football Manager 2019 video where I'm going to show you the new training system on the game. So I've already released a couple of other FM19 videos, my first impressions of Football Manager 2019 and also a look into the new tactics system in the game. Now I've been able to create content early this year because I was invited down to Sports Interactive headquarters along with a few other creators to have a look at an early version of the game, and we were able to record some footage. I will be releasing a few other videos over the coming days, so if you don't want to miss those, make sure you click the subscribe button, and in the description below I do have a link to a very good place to buy Football Manager 2019. I've got a discount code there and it all works in the usual way through Steam. So in this video I will be showing off the new training system, but I'll also be showing off the new induction system for FM19, which is a tutorial based system in place, especially good for newcomers to the game, but also very useful for experienced players, especially in the case of training, which has completely changed. So I'm going to walk through this training induction. If you want to read everything in detail, remember to just pause the video so you can take a look at all of the text. But I'm really loving the look of training. I've already had a play around with it. There's so much scope to it. There's so much more detail. Of course, you can leave this up to your assistant as always, but I'm liking this. I was never really a massive fan of training. Like, I wasn't bothered about it. But now they've introduced this very interesting, quite complex system. I'm really looking forward to getting to grips with it. So once you've started the training induction, you'll have this silhouette appear at the top, and he will explain everything to you as you go through the training induction and click on all the buttons. Now the first thing is all about tactics, so you might want to go and watch my tactics video first if you haven't done so already, so you can find out about tactics in a bit more detail, because training is of course linked to the tactics that you select. So your training is automatically preset basically depending on the tactic you use, but you can change things a lot. And there's so many systems in place. There's sort of pre-season training, different versions of pre-season training. There's training for players that are unfit or injured. There's just so much to it. But this is kind of the general training. You've got 3 sessions a day. In basic terms, you've got 3 sessions a day. 2 base sessions, so actual training sessions, I guess. And the last one can be something like recovery or a rest. You know, they can go home basically, or you can have things like team bonding. So I guess they go out and do bowling or something, and even community outreach stuff as well, or match preview training. So you can see that this is so much more complex compared to FM18 and the previous games. I guess it's just going to be a case of experimenting really and finding what the best formula is for your training and how it has a positive impact on your players and your team. At your club, your coaching staff have already prepared some training schedules that you can use, but you are able to fiddle around with them yourselves and save your own training schedules. At your club, your coaching staff have devised some training schedules that are suitable for your team, but you can also create your own, save your own training schedules. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to show a video of me going through and showing all the different things to do with this, because it really is fascinating, but I'll just take you through this induction first. So the next stage of training is called units. So you've got the goalkeeping units, obviously you'd put your goalkeepers in there, an attacking unit for your attacking players, but you can move players between them. So you might want your attacking left back to go into the attacking unit, for example, and you can move them into that one. The next stage of training is called mentoring, which is an upgraded version of tutoring from the older games. You can put more than one youngster in a group with an older experienced player, for example. I'm really liking the look of training. I know it looks very complex, but I think it's going to add a fascinating, immersive level to Football Manager that we haven't seen before. This is an amazing new feature for Football Manager 2019. One of my favourite new features is the fact that players will be graded on how well they do in training. They'll get a rating out of 10, similar to their match performances, I suppose. You can keep a track of how well players are doing. Maybe a youngster will be training incredibly well, or a second choice player will be training really well, and you'll give him a chance in the first team as a result. Or perhaps a player will just be completely useless in training and you just don't want to play him for that reason. Of course, there are players out there that don't train very well, but play very well. So it'd be fascinating to see how this develops over time. There is this additional feature as well. So there's a rest feature in the training system. So players under 60% you could set to have a much lower training intensity, whereas players with over 90% condition you could select them to have a much higher training intensity. I like this coaches screen as well because it shows how good your training is in different aspects of training. You can edit the coach assignments by clicking on that edit coach assignments button, just like you used to be able to, so you can select which coaches do which type of training. And the last thing to do when setting up training is deciding who does the training. So you could make yourself as manager do all of these bits and pieces, but you can get your backroom staff to do it as well. If you're not really fussed about training, I guess that is the way to go, but you might want to give it a go first before handing it over to your backroom staff. So let's have a look at these things in a little bit more detail. I'll just click on all of the buttons at the top, and you can see how you can change schedules and select different things depending on what time of season it is, which tactics you're using. There's different sort of light, medium and high intensity training. There's just so much here. You can see how complex this could potentially be. It's very daunting for newcomers to the game, but that's why they've put these inductions in place, so you can just get to grips. And of course you can let your backroom staff take over. I might do a bit of both, really. I might take control to start with and then hand it over to my staff, depending on how time consuming this is. But as you can see here, you can create mentoring groups, like I said, so you can add various players to the groups and they can just inspire each other. They can get traits from the experienced players, personality traits and that sort of thing, and attributes, I suppose, as well. It's brilliant. I think this could be the best new feature for FM19. I suppose it's the headline feature. Training has been changed hugely, as well as tactics. If you still haven't watched that tactics video, go and check it out. But yeah, look at this. You can change the intensity of the training depending on the condition of the players, and brilliant. I'm really loving this. I'll just click on the edit coach assignment so you can see this is just that old look where you can change the types of training that they do. I hope you found this video useful and interesting. Maybe it has encouraged you enough to go and buy Football Manager 2019 if you really like the look of the training feature. I mean, it's not just a training feature, there's lots of features involved in it, of course. I've only just scraped the surface. When I've got my head around training, perhaps I'll make some more videos if you're interested, but I'm not sure I'm going to get my head around training. I don't think I'm going to be an expert on it, but I'm going to do my best to try and get to grips with this as best as possible. But anyway, remember, there's going to be lots more Football Manager 2019 videos being released on my channel soon, so remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Until next time, enjoy Football Manager, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon.